Welcome to another video from Dr. Lock. What we're going to do is we're going to walk through how to repin a standard commercial grade knob set which you might have on your unit front door. This is the type of lock here. The cylinder's been taken out of this one. This is just an example. This is an old one. The first step about it is you need to remove the cylinder. We have 3 cylinders here. They're all the same type of PD cylinder. So the first thing, if you do want to redo this, we have a lot of handyman and people who do want to actually try and do this. So we're going to give you the quick rundown on how it's done. If it's too much hassle or you don't have the parts, our locksmiths are available in the Western Sydney area and we can always do this for you. We do make it look easy, and it's not as easy as you would think, and I'll show you a few examples why. So the first thing is you need to remove the cylinder. You will need a key or the lock will need to be picked. First part about it is you need to remove the actual knob set. Just like that. Then you will have a ring around here, and then you'll be able to slide your cylinder out through here. This one here is just an old one for example. This tool here we also do sell. What that does is when the key is in the lock and turned, you can actually depress this, which I'll just show you what's happening down there. It's pushing, it's a bit hard to see. It is actually pushing a little piece of metal there which allows the knob to slide off. Here is where it locks into, right here. So when this goes in, it pushes in between here, pushes down, and the knob slides off. Now before you start wondering how that happens, it only happens on most good locks when the lock is actually, when the key is inside the lock and turned. So you can't walk up to somebody's knob and just push the button. You actually do need to turn the key for it to release. Most good locks can release from the front, a lot of other ones don't. Alright, so once you've got your key in your hand, your cylinder, if you've got the key, great. If you don't, to be able to disassemble one of these, you will need to actually pick the lock, such as this one here. This one has been picked. As you can see, it turns. If it's not picked, you're going to have more troubles. First step is one that we do have the key for. We're going to use that in a minute. First thing is we need to depress a little pin, and I know it's very hard to see from there, but you need to depress a little pin here and rotate the cap off the back. There's our cap. Then the tailpiece comes off. There's our tailpiece. Then the little pin comes out, and then the spring. Try and get that spring out. If you can't, that's okay, just don't lose it. Now the key goes in, turns. You now need another tool called a follower. We also do have these little plastic ones. You need to push like that. I'll show you how that's done again. So all your pins are loaded in there. You need to push it like that. If you don't do that quickly enough, or you don't do it with pressure on it, you'll get pins flying everywhere. So you slide it out like that. The next step after that is to remove those pins. These ones are a little bit oiled up. Okay, so they're all removed. They're the parts which actually make the shape of the key. So without them, if you were to put that back inside there, it would jam. So now we've got that key there. It's no longer any good. We're going to move on to the next one here. This is our new key. So we will slide this in. Then we would simply put in new pins over here to suit. So for this particular key, just having a look at it, I could simply say that I could roughly gauge what type of pins would be needed. Because we've done this a million times, we can do this quite quickly. Okay, so they're all nice colours there. Make sure they're all smooth across the top. Smooth, no problems. Push it back into the cylinder. Rotate it. And it turns. Removing the key now to test it. Okay, so the lock is actually in the locked position. I'm going to put the key in and give it a twist. So now it actually does turn. Now I need to simply reassemble the cylinder the same way I took it apart, putting that on the back, putting our tailpiece back in, putting our cap on the back, give it a twist, lock it in, test it. Now we would put this back inside the housing with the collar on the back, and we would slide it back into the lock. I'll slide it back into the lock to give you a demonstration of what happens. Now you turn the key and you can see that this part is pulled. This is the part that pulls the latch back on the edge of the door. So which means this cylinder and this key will all go straight back into the lock, and that's the lock changed. If you do need any parts or anything like that, please email us. If you do want to try that for yourself, you can. We don't mind you changing locks. Lock picking is one thing we'll never be displaying on YouTube. We believe that's wrong. But changing locks is a completely different kettle of fish, and people do like to try these things themselves. So if you do wish to try it yourself, we can supply you some pins, we can supply you a follower. Watching a few of our videos, you can go for your life. Now, if for some example you don't follow these simple rules, some things can go wrong. First of all, you do need the key to actually pick the lock open. This is one that's been picked, and if you do try and do this with the wrong tools, what can happen is you can jam the cylinder up and you can end up with a cylinder that's no longer usable. Let's see if I can pull this apart to quickly show you what's happening with this with these pins inside. Well, we'll do it with the one that we just made up. Okay, so we're just quickly undoing that again. Okay, so all of these pins here are all level. If you leave one out, the cylinder will jam. If you don't use your follower properly, what can happen is you can get springs just flying everywhere. They're all going to chambers inside there which are reasonably hard to load back up. For a locksmith it's easy, for somebody else it can be difficult. So the principle is that this needs to be level with your key here. It needs to be top pins on top pushing down, which create the shear line. Once the shear line is created, then the cylinder will turn. That's our video on how to change a standard handle lock key and knob. For more information, see our further videos, and thanks for watching.